In 7 days, I lost 8.1 pounds. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. But before I do so, cue the intro. So, did I really lose 8 pounds? Yes. And did it happen in a week? Yes. Is it possible for anybody to do it? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. But I know that I did it and I can share with you exactly how I did. Now, as you can see, I'm a big guy. And this was my first week of working out. So naturally, in your first week of working out, you lose the most weight. During that time, I did, and I was very calculated in doing a certain amount of different steps to ensure that I receive high gains during the first week. An example of this will be I cut all complex carbs out of my diet. I didn't eat any bread, I didn't eat any pastas or anything of that nature. I also cut meat-based proteins out of my diet. That means no beef, no pork, no fish, no eggs, or anything along those lines. What I did do was a plant-based diet. I ate fruit, vegetables, and nuts and lentils. Now, of course, dieting is a major part, but it's not everything when it comes to losing weight. So, exercise was a really big part of what I did. In the past week, I ran a total of 8 miles, and I broke it out into different days. When I started to run, I started with 1 mile. Then it varies. Some days I did two, some days I did one, depending on how my body felt. Some days I did a little bit extra on top of 2 miles to ensure that I got the burn that I felt my body needed. In addition to that, on most days, I did a calisthenic routine, which is basically push ups, sit ups, squats, and jumping jacks. So all of these came together to be the plan that I used to lose weight. I also drank a lot of water. Only one day did I drink under 2 liters of water, and that was my first day. And actually, I believe that I might have drunk 2 liters of water if you include getting up and drinking a cup of water that was outside of my measured amount of water. Every other day, I drank a gallon at least. Some days it was closer to a gallon and a half, because usually before I get to the jug of water or the bottle of water that I'm drinking, I drink a cup in the morning. I might drink a cup before I go to bed, or if I feel hungry outside of mealtime, I would drink water. Because honestly, at times I can't tell the difference between if I'm hungry or if I'm thirsty. Now, the way that my meals were broken up was breakfast, I ate around 6 a.m. Lunch, I ate around 12 to 1 p.m. And then dinner, I had before 7 p.m. And I had snacks in there also. So breakfast is usually something light. At the beginning of the week, I started off eating oatmeal with dried fruit inside of it, with water instead of milk. And for lunch, I would eat some form of steamed vegetables with nuts. And for dinner, I would eat a different type of steamed vegetable with no nuts. And in between that, I would eat for my snacks oranges and bananas. Now, at the midweek point, I stopped eating oatmeal. One, because I don't like oatmeal, and two, because halfway through, if you switch, it tricks your brain into thinking that you're burning calories in a different way. It's something I learned from a dietitian a long time ago. But halfway through, I switched and I stopped eating oatmeal and I went to eating oranges and an apple, oranges, and a banana for breakfast, and still eating oranges throughout the day. Now, when I worked out, if I would cramp, I would eat a banana. And that's how I lived for a week straight. Another major component of what I did was sleep. I made sure that every night, no matter what, I got between 7.5 hours to 8.5 hours of sleep. And these changes are the reason that I was able to get the gains that I received during this time frame. Now, once again, I am not a doctor, and if you consider doing this, maybe you can think about going to see a doctor beforehand. But that is the way that I got the results that I received. Thank you for watching the video. If you would like to see more of this in detail, more about my story, then you could look at my previous videos on the subject.